New Orleans.
We had no
Grayson
chance.
Allen blocking Aubrey Dawkins at the rim. Your guy, Nick.
Great timing now. No, he's a tremendous athlete. If you watch the warm-ups and everything, you'll see some highlights. Never thought I'd see him on the defensive highlight. Great defense here.
Listen,
he can jump now.
They're going to love that in Europe in a couple years when he's playing over there.
Hey, even if you're a European player, you're a great basketball player.
Yeah, okay.
Atlanta Entertainment Basketball League. Angelo Sharpless bouncing the ball over the defender for a self-alley-oop.
How about that? The guy's a current Harlem Globetrotter, former D2 Player of the Year. In-game self-alley-oop defender just lost.
Defender did the right thing. Just turn your back, run on down the other side.
Yeah.
Try to get you another bucket on the other end.
Get out the way.
All right, moving on to Melvin Gordon now. Boy, he's coming off quite a year, right? The Chargers' two-time Pro Bowl running back had career highs in yards per carry, receiving yards, and touchdowns last season, all in just 12 games. Now he wants to be paid like a guy who did all those things. Gordon is in the 5th and final year of his rookie contract and is prepared to hold out, saying you can't just replace a great back. Cece, how important is Melvin Gordon to the Chargers' success?
Well, Melvin Gordon, I would say his play has been inconsistent. The Chargers are one of the most talented rosters. Now, for an offense, it gives them a great deal of balance. But to me, he hadn't played his best football. You know, barely last season he averaged 5 yards a carry just to get to a career average of 4 yards a carry. So he hadn't put together the type of consistency that you want. Last season, only 9 runs of over 20 yards. So for me, you think Melvin Gordon, you think he's going to be a good receiver out of the backfield, which he is, also break off some big plays for you to help out the offense. So to me, the Chargers, you have to be careful when you're a running back. Because, yes, they did pay L. Bell. Yes, Ty Gurley did get paid. Zeke's going to get paid. But around the league, there's still a theory. I can get a running back from off the street, late in the draft. I can pick up an old veteran. Like, there's a lot of the league that still thinks that running back should be done by committee and don't believe in spending a lot of money on a running back, nor are spending high draft capital on them. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers didn't sign him to a long-term contract.
Well, he has been very good when he's been out there, even if he hasn't been excellent. Like, the problem for last year, the reason he didn't have 1,000 yards is he missed 4 games. And a couple years prior to that, when he barely missed on 1,000 yards, because he missed 3 games. The one full season he's played, 2017, he had 1,100 yards rushing and almost 500 yards receiving. One of his biggest talents is catching the ball out of the backfield. Over the last 3 years, averages about 50 catches and just under 500 yards receiving per season. And he's averaged 13 total touchdowns per season. But he is in this tough spot, which is the Chargers know he almost assuredly is not actually going to sit out and miss games. They can pay him this year $6 million, hold the franchise tag over him, and so he's in one of these positions where if a team pays him, it's not charity, but they don't have to. Like, any extra money they give him would almost just to be nice. Now, if they really think he's going to miss games, then you can make the argument, man, Phillip Rivers, year 16. We've got a really good team. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams coming off a bit of a breakout second season with double-digit touchdowns. You'll have Hunter Henry back this year. This could be a dynamic offense if you have a running back like Melvin Gordon who can run and catch the ball. But my guess is they don't take this threat very seriously. So are they going to outlay big-time guaranteed money? Almost assuredly not. Could he get a new deal that involves a bunch of essential team options and a slight raise this year? Possibly, but that doesn't look like what he's looking for.
Do you think that Pittsburgh didn't think that L. Bell would really sit out the whole season? Do you think this plays out similar to the way
L. Bell was far more important? I think the threat of L. Bell was real, but let's not forget how everything played out last year. L. Bell didn't know he was going to sit out the whole season. So he started going week by week. Then he realized him and his agent sat down and talked because he had told, remember the offensive line, that was part of the conflict, that he was going to come back and report to the team. After conversing with his agent, they decided they were going to end up sitting out the whole season. So to me, this is not the same. I wouldn't look at Melvin Gordon in the same breath as L. Bell. L. Bell's ability to dominate as a running back. He was a special running back. When we had the conversation about who's the best running back in the league, L. Bell was always included. Melvin Gordon has never been talked about until we have the holdout situation.
And the other, to me, the biggest distinction is Le'Veon Bell was not holding out. Le'Veon Bell was not under a contract. They couldn't find Le'Veon Bell. They couldn't take any money from him. He just was refusing to sign the franchise tag for the second straight year. Melvin Gordon's under contract. Melvin Gordon's in a position where if he were to skip all of the preseason and show up in week 1, he'd be down nearly $2 million in fines. And for a guy that's only scheduled to make about $6 million this year, they can fine him regular season game checks.
Yeah, because it's his option year.
Yeah, it's a weird thing in the new CBA. You can be fined up to a regular season game check for each preseason game missed, only for guys in their 5th-year option. So they kind of hold the hammer over him. In theory, if he were to sit out the whole year, he would owe them money. Now, I've never seen a player actually have to pay a team money, but unless they retire early, signing bonus money back. So he deserves more than he's being paid, and he deserves some financial security, but he has no real power over the Chargers. And sitting behind him is a guy named Austin Eckler, who in limited touches last year, about 100 carries, 5 yards per carry. So they might feel like they can get 80% of the production out of the backup, even if Melvin's not out there.
You mentioned Melvin Gordon last year didn't rush for 1,000 yards. Generally, 16 players rushed for 900 or more yards last season. So when you don't even have 1,000 yards rushing, he's had 1,000 yards one time in his career. Like, when you're not a 1,000-yard rusher, your contract is not expiring. You don't have the opportunity to be a free agent. So he doesn't hold the hammer.
He doesn't have the
like L. Bell. He didn't have the stats, and L. Bell didn't get paid on his first contract because he wasn't a first-rounder. Melvin Gordon got paid. So now on your second contract, you can't keep paying for potential. They're already giving you 4 years of what you can do, and they believe that potentially they can replace him with a couple guys. I don't believe they're going to invest long-term into Melvin Gordon.
And just real quick, the running back market, even though a few guys have gotten paid, there's only 3 running backs in the entire league making more than $8.5 million a year. Melvin Gordon's at 6, so it sounds low compared to any other position. But if you're not Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, or David Johnson, you are not making big-time NFL money playing the running back position. Zeke's trying to change that. A couple other guys are trying to change that. Melvin Gordon, if he wants to change it, almost assuredly has to play this year, play close to the full 16, play well, and then he either gets franchise tag, which will be around $10 million, or maybe a little bit less, or go out in free agency and get a contract.
It's a tall order for your running back to get paid. Take a break coming up. Can Steph Curry and the Warriors still compete for a title? Next on First Things First.
Mike Trout made the right decision, see. Talked about him being a great running back.
Nick.
Go ahead and, well, I don't know if I had those options.